Last couple practices have taken a little downward trend, not getting as much push as we want in our run game, and had a couple successful practices in a row picking up the blitz, and it struggled the last couple days with that last couple practices. So we need to get back to the basics and figure out how to make sure that we can protect our quarterback and our running backs in our run game.
How'd it feel to have Braden and Riker back out there?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Those guys, I think they may have gotten close to a near-death experience today being back, but it was really good to have them out there, and you know, and they earned that. So it's good to have them back, and just hopefully they're going to keep making progress and be able to help us in the fall.
Has with Riker, has it just been health issues again? Or?
No, it was he needed to get his stuff straight in the classroom. So, yeah.
How do you feel you guys have improved from last year to this year?
You know, I think the whole front has improved, and just in the simple concept that we understand what you know, when I say something and I say it in one word, man, they know the whole paragraph that goes behind that. Whereas before it was like, you know, step this, and then they have to think and they have to process the information. So gotten a lot better in that aspect as far as understanding each other and having one word sayings that mean paragraphs, and me knowing what they're saying and I knowing what they're saying. So that brings confidence, and when your confidence level is a little bit higher, you're going to have a tendency to play better. So I think that's been a huge thing for us, is understanding what we're talking about, and then just the camaraderie of the off season of working together. I mean, you got a guy next to you, he's pushing himself, and you're like, I'm not going to get outdone, so I push myself, and so that competitive nature has been strong and alive, you know, within the offensive line, and then also going over to the other side of the ball.
With the amount of guys that you're moving through the offensive line, do you feel like that growth and understanding that offense, or in that terminology, do you feel like that's allowing you guys to continue that pace that you like to play at?
Yeah, you know, I think there's two things to that. One, you know, maybe a guy that's a second string guy, but he's at 100% is better than a first string guy at 70%. And so you build that culture of knowing that if I'm a second string guy, and I've been that second string guy that knows that the only way I'm coming in the game is if something catastrophic happens, which I hope doesn't, or we're way up, or, you know, so your thought of like, well, I don't need to maybe be that prepared. Whereas now, if you're a second string guy now, man, you're playing. So you better be ready, and you better know what you're doing, and the focus is more intent. And so I think that helps us grow, absolutely. I mean, going in, and I had the guys at the end of practice today, hey, raise your hands at how many guys played in games last year. You know, and there was 8 guys with their hands up, and that's great experience. So.
Who were the guys who were starting to show some separation for you in your unit?
You know, it's been good to have Dre back out there with his hand, and he needs to keep working his feet, but he's had a huge offseason. DeAndre, Louis, he's a stud, man. That kid is going to be something special. He's definitely widening the gap, and I think just the thing with him in this offseason coming up is going to be his fitness to get him ready. Tooney's made huge strides going from being a defensive position to coming to offense, and you know, we started to fine-tune some things over this past weekend, and I think there was too much thinking going on with him today. So he may have taken a step back, but his growth overall over the spring has been really well. And then Fusi's just been – we were watching cut-ups today of the Wisconsin game, and then going to practice, and it's a totally different guy. I mean, it's not even close. It doesn't even look like the same guy. Kind of like Santa Claus in the off season, you know. So he looks way better, and he's got a greater understanding of the offense. So those guys have definitely stepped up their game.
Do you feel like your run package or your pass package, are you progressing further, or are they kind of even right now?
No, I think they're both gaining momentum and gaining ground. You know, if you have to say which one's ahead, I would say the run, just because of the reps that we have in that, going back to this time last spring and with the same guys. But the pass game is taking huge strides, and the thing about it that is the most fun is seeing us anticipating guys get open and stuff like that. I don't see that until I come back in and watch film, but it's just you can see the growth of the offense in the pass game a lot.
One thing that stands out to me, it seems like your unit's been pretty clean this spring. You guys haven't had many false starts that I've seen, at least. How's it looking on the tape?
Yeah. You know, good. And I think, again, that comes back to confidence. and knowing my assignment. If I don't know my assignment, and you take the speed and the pace at which we go at, so you eliminate oxygen, and that's one of the key ingredients for us to think. You eliminate that, and now you're not confident, you're going to jump. And so it goes back to having a good understanding of what we're doing, confidence in what we're doing, and then again, hey, I know that I have this job, and I know that the guy next to me has this job, and he's going to do his job, and I'm going to do my job, so we can play as a cohesive unit way better. So, I mean, it's been fortunate, and we better not have any more, otherwise I'm coming after you for bringing it up. So, but it's been nice. It's been pleasant. So it's been very nice to see the guys do that.
I don't want you coming after me, man.
I'm a nice guy off the field.
Well, on the field, I wouldn't know. You're really getting after those guys out there.
I only know one way. That was the way I was coached, and I think it worked, and so it's fun. It's fun, and I think they know that I care, and I want them to be great. I want them to represent the offensive line of the old, so changing of the guard.
Did you get into many fights as a player?
Do I have to comment on that?
Now you have.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I felt one of my guys was being mistreated, you gotta let them know you got your back. So.
How do you handle that now as a coach?
Again, you don't want to just turn into a street fight, but you need to make sure that if somebody's being mistreated or pushed around, that's not acceptable. And so you need to make sure that you're standing right behind that guy. You don't need to punch, but you need to separate, and if it escalates, defend yourself and stuff like that. But again, you need to be smart. We're on the same team, and we all have the same common goal, and we're all expecting great things from each other. And so we need to be able to support each other on both sides, but again, not be pushed around. So it's a fine line.
Riker Matthews returned today, and then, of course, Braden Kirsten made a guest appearance.
Guest appearance. Yes.
You finally get these guys back into the offense line, get these guys going in the rotation. How much fun are you going to have?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun coaching guys that love the game, and that would be the number one thing I would say is guys really love the game in that room now. They were questioning that early on, and I think the more guys that we get to love the game and have it matter is huge. And so I know those two guys love the game, and I know that they'd probably almost give anything to play it. So it's really fun coaching those guys, and it goes back to, I think Michael Yeck, I got to watch the film. He's down there in a scuffle. I'm like, what's the world coming to? So it's good to see those guys be passionate about their teammates.
Taysom talked about some of the nuances that the offense has put in to maybe make it harder to guard. Does that affect the line, some of the things that they do? I mean, you talked motion and some of the things outside.
I think when you motion, right, then that change, the defense has got to change. They got to react to that so guys move. And so actually Coach Anai has done a really good job of building in calls to make sure that the offensive line knows, okay, if this is why we're calling this, is because we have this motion and this is what we need to do. And having them identify that's been a huge help. So I don't think it's been a bad thing or has caught us off guard. We're anticipating where they're going to move based off that motion, and it's built into the call.
So you like that? You like
love
these,
it.
I
love it.
Nuances you're saying.
Love it. It's absolutely love it, 100%. Because anytime there's movement back there, the defense, they can't help themselves. They look. And if they're looking at that while we're doing this, they're not going to see what's going on over here. So it's kind of like magic.
It's a sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.